everybody, I am Dr. Sunanda Chava. I am a oral medicine specialist. Today I would like to talk about dental treatment considerations for patients taking oral anticoagulants. It's an update. So, due to the increase in the number of patients using anticoagulants, there is a need for dentists to familiarize themselves with the implications of oral anticoagulant therapy. Recent advances in healthcare have increased the life expectancy. Nowadays, it's quite common to see a lot of patients leading almost a normal life following major health related events. A lot of these patients depend on regular medication for the normal function of the important organs. Recently, there is an increase in the emergence of patients taking oral anticoagulants. The dental community needs to update itself on the issues related to the use of oral anticoagulants. Medical conditions where oral anticoagulants used are oral anticoagulants are used in a variety of medical conditions. These are basically conditions in which there is an increased risk of intravascular clot formation. The common and most routinely encountered medical conditions where oral anticoagulants is used are atrial fibrillation, cardiac wall replacement, angioplasties with stent, DVT, that is deep vein thrombosis, DVT prophylaxis, orthopedic joint replacement, stroke, transient ischemic attacks, etc. Dental treatment requiring special precautions. Invasive dental treatment include regional blocks can pose a serious risk of bleeding. Hence, special precautions are required to be undertaken for the following procedures. These are infraalveolar nerve block, subgingival scaling, subgingival tooth preparations, dental extractions, endodontic therapy, surgical periodontal treatment, biopsies, and abscess drainage. Commonly used oral anticoagulants come under three groups. First one is vitamin K anticoagulants, second one is antiplatelet drugs, third one is coagulation factor inhibitors. In vitamin K antagonists, we have warfarin, azinocomarol, phenydione. Antiplatelet drugs, aspirin, clopidogrel, dipyrimidol. Under coagulation factor inhibitors, we have rivaroxaban and dabigatran. Dabigatran. Coming to management, it has been a common practice to stop the oral anticoagulants for a few days before and after the invasive dental procedures. This practice is dangerous and can be fatal. This practice should not be followed because of the following reasons. Temporarily stopping anticoagulation increases the daily risk compared to patients with similar medical conditions who have never been on anticoagulants. That's rebound effect. So, atrial fibrillation without anticoagulation therapy have 1 in 1000 per day risk of stroke. Second is the risk for recurrence of DVT greatly increases in the first 3 months without anticoagulant therapy. Alterations to the dosage of drugs like vitamin K antagonists will take several days to reflect in their clinical effect. In majority of the situations dealt by general dentists, the risk of withholding anticoagulation outweigh the risk of bleeding provided careful technique has been employed. Guidance. Never alter or stop anticoagulation unless suggested by the patient's attending physician. Remember, anticoagulated patients are medically compromised and they may need special precautions in addition to their coagulation issues. Patients with international normalization ratio, that is INR, less than 4 can undergo minimal invasive procedures in an outpatient setting. Restrict the number of extractions to 3 maximum in one sitting. Always use atraumatic technique, local hemostatic agents like Surgicel, Abgel, and sutures. Avoid non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs and COX-2 inhibitors. So you can use instead paracetamol and tramadol instead of NSAIDs and COX-2 inhibitors, other drugs. So you can use paracetamol is NSAID, but you can still use, and tramadol also can be used. 5% tranexamic acid mouthwash 4 times daily helps to stabilize the clot. This preparation can be easily prepared by using the solution meant for IV use, intravenous use. Post-operatively, advise the patient to keep the head in a slightly elevated position and to avoid strenuous activity for the next 2 to 3 hours. Always remind the patient not to stop anticoagulation post-operatively. Anticoagulation will be affected by broad spectrum antibiotics, and all the patients should be advised to have their INR levels checked at least 3 days after start of antibiotic course. All the patients should be given contact details should there be any bleeding. Patients presenting with post-operative bleeding that could not be controlled with local hemostatic measures alone should be admitted to the hospital under the combined care of oral maxillofacial surgeon, physician, and hematologist. So, coming to conclusion, every dentist should familiarize themselves with the implications of oral anticoagulant therapy. These drugs are given for good reason and they should not alter the patient's anticoagulant medication unless specially advised with the patient's attending physician. Majority of the minor oral surgical procedures need not require any alterations to patient's anticoagulation. Atraumatic surgical technique and local measures to control bleeding will mostly be sufficient to achieve hemostasis. However, physicians' prior advice is a must if there are any concomitant systemic conditions that can potentiate the anticoagulant effect, like liver or kidney disease, and for patients with unstable INR, international normalized ratio. So, I think this would be helpful to you. So, okay, bye. Thank you.